Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is our 8th video
And our names are DJ Boom and
TV Crash.
and together we are
TV Boom. This is our YouTube channel
And this week we will talk about Mrs. Doubtfire
because it was requested by Dylan Badamutu.
Thank you for requesting.
And if anybody else would like to request a film we should review, don't be shy and comment
In the comments below. So what was the film about?
It was about a couple who get divorced, and in order for the man to see his children, he pretends to be their nanny.
It was based on a book. Did you know that?
Yes.
It was
Or did
called
I?
Madam Doubtfire. And it came out in 1987.
And the film came out in 1993.
That means like 6 years later.
Yeah. The director was Chris Columbus, and he also directed Home Alone and the first two Harry Potters.
We actually said the first two Harry Potters in our first video of the Goonies, and he wrote the screenplay for the Goonies.
The audience knows that if they have been following us.
And they've watched our first video.
Yeah, so
The soundtrack was by Howard Shore.
and he also did the soundtrack for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And I think it's pretty weird that he did the same soundtrack because the music's much different.
It's more because Miss Doubtfire is more like a comedy,
And Hobbit and Lord of the Rings
it's
is
more like adventure.
yeah, and the music's more sad and adventurous.
So
When we talk about the soundtrack, you might think of the music, and then there are quite a few songs that fit in very well. And it was like Dude Looks Like a Lady, and it's by Aerosmith, and then Walk Like a Man by Frank
Valley and the Four Seasons.
and Robin Williams. Yeah, he was Daniel Hillard and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he was in Jumanji. Who?
And he was the voice of the genie in Aladdin.
Can't remember who he played at Hook.
He played Peter Pan, the main character.
You're right, but isn't Hook the main character because it's called Hook? So then there was Sally Field as Miranda Hillard.
She was also Forrest Gump's mum in
I haven't watched Forrest Gump in a long time.
I think maybe 2 years ago.
That's still long.
Now let's get back onto the film.
Yeah.
Then there was Pierce Brosnan, and he was Stu. Yeah.
And
he's like the boyfriend of Miranda Hillard after she divorces
Daniel Hillard.
Yeah.
And he's one of the James Bonds.
And then there was Lisa Jacob as Lydia Hillard, and she was one of the kids in Independence Day. We should review that. And like 2012 and like
so catastrophe films. You know Kiki's Delivery Service?
Yeah.
You know Tombo, the friend of Kiki?
Yeah.
The English voice of him gets played by Matthew Lawrence.
And he is Chris Hillard
in this film.
And then Mara Wilson, she was
Natalie Hillard.
And she also was in Miracle on 34th Street. Yeah.
And
Matilda. And Mrs. Doubtfire was her first film.
Oh, how much did it cost?
It cost 25 million.
That's a lot.
That really is a lot, yeah. And it made 220 million.
But this was a really great film.
Yeah. And did you know that Robin Williams' own son didn't recognize him when he was Mrs. Doubtfire until he started speaking?
How can his own son not notice that it's his dad? Okay, but they did the makeup so well.
That's true. So that's why I think he didn't notice, because the makeup was made so well. When we're with Robin Williams, he improvised a lot, and one of the improvisation was when the restaurant scene was shot, yeah. And Mrs. Doubtfire's teeth fell into the glass, yeah. The cast and all the other actors in the scene, yeah, they didn't know Robin Williams would do that, and so they were all really shocked.
Yeah.
And so it was really realistic, yeah.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about fake teeth, yeah, and the makeup and stuff like that, yeah.
So the film took 70 days to film, and on 40 days, Robin Williams was Mrs. Doubtfire. And the makeup took 4.5 hours. That means he woke up at 5 o'clock, and as Mrs. Doubtfire, they started filming at 9.
So it's obvious that they won the Oscar for best makeup. They earned it.
There's one thing I want to say. It's when I see Daniel Hillard first, and then after that I see Miss Doubtfire, I actually can see through the makeup. Well, that's what I imagine, that it's Daniel Hillard.
I have to admit that I first thought that an old woman played Mrs. Doubtfire. So we should rate the film. What should we give it?
Masks.
So we'll give it masks. So how many would you give it?
5.
Why?
It was so great. Well, I liked the scenes where he was applying for a job in front of the lady and he said, I can do voices, and did all those voices. How much would you give it?
I think I'd also give it 5. Yeah, because it really was a good film and the jokes were so awesome.
Yeah. And you know when she steals the thing off the Mercedes? Or when Stu goes with his car and she leans out of the window
and shows the middle finger.
Yeah, she's so badass.
Yeah.
So, then 5 it is. 5 masks.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience?
Well, in the words of Porky Pig, piss off. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up.
If you want to give us some suggestions on films we can review, feel free to comment below.
We plan to review a film every week, so subscribe to our channel.
Special thanks to Mom for helping us edit. Bye!